All right, y'all. So we got StephenASmith here apologizing to Jasmine Crockett pretty much for nothing because he wasn't disrespectful or anything. He just had his criticisms. But because the black culture, you can't say anything against it, they came for him. They basically butt broke him. He's back on the plantation. He's acting hard. But the thing is, he should have never apologized. That's how you lose out here. When you believe in what you say and what you say comes from a genuine place, you should never apologize for it, no matter what the cost is. But Stephen A is money driven, which a lot of these people are. And that's where you get them when you hit them for their dollar. That's why I got respect for people like Kanye, even though I know a lot of people don't like Kanye, and Kanye do say some crazy shit at times. But you're not about to get an apology from him. He says what he says and he stand on it, even if it don't always make sense. And it's because he's not being disrespectful. Now, if you do some disrespectful stuff as far as going after somebody, you know, personally or something like that, maybe it's time for an apology. But Stephen A didn't do that, and neither has Kanye. So, all right, let me play this.
I apologize for not speaking about this earlier. If you took a close up of my face right now, you'll see the right side of my face swollen. I had emergency double root canal surgery.
Nah, they caught that boy up in the alley, leaving his show, put that whooping on him. Nah, I don't know. But it's kind of weird. You coming in with a swollen jaw, now you're apologizing. That's hilarious. Don't tell me they took you out back, Stephen A. You supposed to have security or something, right? Dang, it's crazy.
And so I've been down and out and drugged up and stuff like that over the last few days.
Nah, they drug you in that alley, whooped that ass. Nah, like I said, I don't know, but that's wild. Let's get it.
Trying to overcome this stuff, but nevertheless, it is what it is. I'm here right now. I wanted to take a moment because I saw something disturbing in regards to President Donald Trump and how he came at Representative Jasmine Crockett. And I wanted to take this opportunity to attack this issue as it pertained to me and Jasmine Crockett because I personally have had an issue with how things have been misconstrued and misinterpreted. But at the end of the day, I have to own it. And that's what I'm going to do today. And so when somebody says to me, Stephen, rather than point to her and her verbiage and her language and how she talked about the president, what about how he talks? I have no problem with that. I can understand that. And if that is the reason that everybody is in an uproar, that is fine. And I have no problem apologizing to that to my sister because, damn it, I want her to know I don't feel that way about her. Just like I didn't feel that way about Kamala Harris. Just like I don't feel that way about the marvelous, the wonderful, the incomparable, the greatest first lady ever, and Michelle Obama.
Come on, Stephen. If you didn't feel that way, why say it? Are you grifting? Or were you speaking from the heart? Because your whole criticism is you don't like how she displays herself on a national stage. That's okay to say. What it sounds like is Stephen is basically buckling under the pressure of his friends, Roland Martin, not funny Hughley, D.L. Hughley. Boy, he was the worst in Kings of Comedy. But you're buckling under the pressure from all of them because you're standing as a man. And now you're looking weak because you're allowing them to bring you back to the plantation. You were on your way out as a free thinker, and now you're allowing them to guilt you. Sign language, shame, insults, guilt, a need to be right. Even Roland Martin's crazy ass talking about you need to know the facts. He's trying to shame you into submission because what you said doesn't need a lot of political knowledge. What you said was actually right. Jasmine Crockett should be trying to work with the president who was voted in by the people, Roland Martin. He was voted in by the people, but because you hate it, you sit on your channel and spread divisiveness. You try to tell the people, you know what? Yeah, they voted him in, as if we're not Americans, and tell them to get up, revolt. Everything that's not getting things done in our country. If people like you got your bread and others, but the ones who are out here poor or having issues, they're misguided. They continue to be misguided because of people like you. Stephen A is trying to bring people, he's trying to give them knowledge and tell them, hey, you don't have to run with the Democrats. You don't have to do everything they say. You can think for yourself. And that's what y'all don't like. And I hate that Stephen A is buckling to this shit.
Obama, in my estimation, or anybody else. But what we're going to do on this show is understand who the hell I am and how it's going to be as long as I'm doing this show. I have no problem apologizing if I'm wrong. I have no problem apologizing if I've made somebody feel a certain kind of way.
You should never apologize for how somebody feels. And if you do, it should be just that, not what you're doing. And you're not wrong. So you shouldn't be apologizing. That's the issue here. When you give your critique, that doesn't necessarily mean you're right or wrong. They're using saying her hurt feelings to manipulate you, Stephen A. That's all this is. That's all black culture, hood culture does. Because you got the hood culture with niggas and stuff like that. And then you got black culture who they think good, they do good things until it comes to the black race. And then they just lose all common sense. It don't matter if it's right or wrong. If it doesn't go with black, then you must give it back. I'm starting to notice that it's a lot of mature people. I got friends close to me that I looked up to, and now I kind of look at them funny because they make all kind of sense until it comes to black culture. And then that's out the window and it's submit or get gone. I have lost so many friends because I'm not willing to do what Stephen A is doing right now. I will not fucking apologize to you for saying what the fuck I feel. And he shouldn't either.
But I'm going to challenge the legitimacy of what people come at me with when I think that challenge is warranted and deserved. If you came to me and you said to me that it came across as a bit dismissive, Stephen, you should have been more protective of her than that because look at how he speaks. Look at how they act on Capitol Hill towards her. I understand that.
No, Stephen A. It's not your responsibility to treat her any type of way because Trump is treating her some type of way. She's bringing this energy on herself. If she was respectful, yeah, basically have respect for the hierarchy and the fact that he's the president, I don't think they'll be where they're at. But because she's trying to match his energy, so say, they're going back and forth. She looks dumb as fuck, Stephen A. And all Trump is doing is rubbing it in. Trump right now got the Infinity Stones. You can't go against that. You were right to say that Jasmine Crockett should be trying to figure out how can she work with this dude to get some of the things she need for her people that voted for her. It's one of the laws of power. You never outshine your master. And that's what she's trying to do. And that's what you're calling out. She's trying her best to outshine Trump. Instead of working with him to get things going, she's trying to get a ticket with drama, which is sad to say this is something that's bad in the black community and black culture. We rather do things with drama than morals and respect and decorum. Even the governor Newsom of California is trying to come down. They call it coming down on Trump's level. And the thing is, Trump just don't have a filter. If you come at him the wrong way, he's going to come back at you just like 50 Cent would. Trump is the white 50 Cent. You're not going to get anything with him with flies. You're going to have to come with Trump with honey or money. But if you try to go against him, he's going to destroy you. That is in the alpha language.
But when somebody tries to take that to accuse me of being disrespectful or in any way misogynistic, I'm going to push back on that because that's emphatically false. There's no truth to that whatsoever, and I'm not accepting that, and I'm not owning that. I can sit up there and I can look at Representative Jasmine Crockett. Do you know what I think she should be doing? I think she should be competing for the Senate seat in Texas or for the Attorney General spot because she's qualified. I personally think Kamala Harris should have ran for governor of California. I've said it for the record that if Michelle Obama was running for president, she would have beat Trump, in my opinion. I think she'd have done it. That's how I feel. But somehow, some way, it's never enough for some people out there. I understand. I would advise you to get over it or buckle up because I'm not going away. This is my show. I will say what I feel and I will do what I want. It doesn't mean I'm going to be insensitive. It doesn't mean that I don't care about our community. A matter of fact, most of the trouble I get in is because I care about our community.
All right, yeah, this is important. You're out, Stephen A. As long as you care about the community and you try to critique, they're not accepting it. That's the thing you have. You think that your friends, Roland Martin, D.L. Hughley, and the rest of them are going to all of a sudden have common sense like you and see things like you. They're not. They're not going to do it. They're too soy. They have too much soy in them. You could tell their testosterone low, especially DL. You could tell how he talk with that little lisp. These dudes don't have a lot of testosterone. They're not going to see what you see. All they see is color. All they see is black, white. They don't understand anything else. You're not going to get them to see that. So when you try to critique, they're going to take it as an insult. Why? Because the black culture is a narcissist. Black culture, hood culture operate under a narcissist doctrine. And when you're dealing with somebody like that, they see everything as an insult because they're insecure. Black culture is insecure. Hood culture, insecure.
And the reason I'm bringing this up and the reason that I'm willing to attack this subject, because this really ain't about Jasmine Crockett. I respect her. I wish her nothing but the best. I was simply asking a question. That's all. What's working for you? Because I don't want her to lose the prowess that she has. I want it to continue to gain and elevate. We need resistance to what we see going on in the streets of America. I asked a question. I get it now with Trump feeding into that nonsense, giving him fodder or ammunition to continue to go out there and talk about our black women that way. I got it. I don't like that at all.
Yo, Steven, see, this is where you messing up. Because if Jasmine Crockett was conducting herself professionally, Trump would not be messing with her. You're letting him get to you. You need to push back on Roland, the rest of them, and basically let them know I can't control Trump, nor do I want to control what Trump is doing. But if we supposed to be in this together, then we should be telling Jasmine Crockett, tone it down. That's the problem. Black men have been neutered to the point to where they don't even believe that they should be checking their women anymore. This is the problem. Go look at these dudes. They sit and they jump behind a woman so quick because that's all they could do. Roland's fat ass, DL Hughley, looking crazy, starting to look like Fred Sanford. That's all they can do. They're not secure in being a man. They think being a man is being nice. Worshiping the black woman. That's why our culture is so messed up. And they're trying to get you back in to worshiping Jasmine Crockett. That's not real love. What you did by criticizing her is the real love. And if she don't take your advice, that's on her. That's why she lost her seat. That's why she's going through hell. That's why Texas will be the end. I don't see her going anywhere in 2028. Not to the presidency, at least. But you can't let them bring, like Stephen A., you got a lot of sense. But you're going to let them pull you back to the plantation and make you worship black women. And that's not real love. That's, to me, that's actually being hateful to the black culture, to the black race, because we are men. We are ordained to lead. We are ordained to maintain control and rule over with love and an iron fist. No woman can come into my life and don't understand that I rule over with the iron fist and love. And I give that protection. And you're going to have to respect that. Until we get back to that in the black race, we're going to continue to look like this, look crazy. Don't let them do that to you, Stephen.
I don't want to be associated with nothing like that. And I apologize because I respect the hell out of Jasmine Crockett and what she has accomplished. I absolutely do. And I appreciate the fact that she feels compelled to fight the way that she's fought, the way that she fights because of what she's dealing with. I've been a journalist for over 30 years. I don't want enemies. I truly don't.
You're going to have them. This is not sports anymore. And even in sports, you had enemies. LeBron, the rest of them. You're going to have enemies, bro. And as long as you start telling the truth, the black culture has become your newest enemy. And apologizing is not going to get you back in. I'm sorry to tell you that. It's just not. Once you mess up, that's it. But there's so much more out there. You got black people like me who will rock with you. If you come on over, you can get further multiculturally. Because that's really what they want. They want this hood culture to be able to work in every community, and it doesn't. Even though you got other races who embrace rap, Indians that, you know, they listen to the rap, but they don't live it. And they're not going to deal with somebody who does live it. To them, it's on TV. It's like watching Goodfellas or something. It's entertaining, but they're not about to deal with anybody in the mob. And it's the same way with black culture, hood culture. This shit is not transferable. Black culture, hood culture is like a for-profit small institution college where you go there and you get their certificate, but the shit don't transfer to any other big colleges like the state colleges, like Mizzou or something like that. That's what black culture and hood culture is. It's not transferable. And what you're doing is transferable, but they're trying to bring you back in. That's why the Roland Martins, the DL Hughleys, they can't really do shit beyond Breakfast Club. CNN is the height. But nobody else is dealing with that shit because it's degenerate.
But I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to call it like I see it. It should be done respectfully. It should be done with the sensitivity that it needs to be done with. I get it. I understand. But I'm going to be me. I'm going to call it like I see it. I can look Jasmine Crockett in the face and say, I'm sorry for any kind of noise I caused in your direction. Because she is accomplished and she is smart and she does have an incredible challenge working in this political climate on Capitol Hill. I got it. And when Trump came at her like that, I said, damn it. I was pissed off because I said, that's what they're talking about. When they're saying, you know what, when you question something about her, it's going to invite that. I understand.
Nah, stop. That's manipulation, Stephen A. If Jasmine Crockett was conducting herself properly, Trump would not be able to come at her. And if he did, it wouldn't be justified. Your little bubble of the Roland Martins and DL Hughleys, they the only ones that see this shit as wrong. And the degenerates. The blacks with moral ethic standards that hold themselves in high regards, they're embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. Your instinct called out the right behavior. And you're letting them get to you by saying what you said invited Trump in. If this was a relationship, that would be abusive. They should not be putting the blame on you. She should not be putting the blame on you. It is her fault. If she's going to be a woman and come into a man's space, she needs to accept the heat that comes her way and not deflect and say, you know what, if Stephen A didn't say this shit wouldn't be like that. This ain't got nothing to do with you. It is her behavior. She has declared a war with Trump. And then when Trump fights back, all of a sudden now she's the victim. You declared this war. Ever since you got into it with Marjorie Taylor Greene, you decided to go after her. You grew some balls and now you want to go after Trump. Trump probably didn't even know who you were before all this. Stephen A., that is not on you. It is manipulation. That's all they doing to you. It is not your fault that Trump went after her. It is her own fault. And if these people are going to be politicians and represent the people, they need to come out and say that. Jasmine Crockett would earn 2 ounces of respect if she came out and said, you know what? It had nothing to do with Stephen A. I declared this war on Trump. I welcome the criticism because I can fight back or whatever you want to do. But to try to guilt you into this, no.
But we also need to be able to ask her questions. Just like we would ask Kamala Harris questions. Just like we would ask AOC questions. Just like we would ask Gavin Newsom questions. Just like we would ask Chuck Schumer questions or anybody else that comes with it.
But you can't ask them questions, Stephen A. What do? They deflect. The one lady that's running in Virginia somewhere, the journalist reporter was trying to ask her questions. And she basically said, you're creating divisiveness here. You're creating a hostile environment. However, whatever she said. I don't know her exact words. But instead of answering a tough question, she deflected back to the journalist and tried to guilt the journalist into thinking that the journalist was creating the tension, which is her job. I wish the journalist would have said, that is my job, to ask you the tough questions and you answer it properly and prove me wrong. If you can't prove me wrong, then you shouldn't be running. This is the thing. If Jasmine Crockett can't defend herself against Trump, then she need to go home. She need to go home and take a nap. Stop letting them guilt you, Stephen A. I know I'm a small creator, but I hope you get a hold of this and see it. Because nobody else is going to tell you like I'm telling you.
It comes with it. The times that we live in, the times that we live in, the times we're living in. Yep. Absolutely true. Which is why I was screaming to get our focus away from the cancer culture and identity politics and the kind of things that would turn off 77 million voters, which pretty much comes down to about 20 swings, 20 swing districts, if you really, really want to think about it with these elections. But that's a different story for another day. The point is, times are tight, and the slightest little thing can turn people off. And in the end, as trifling as President Trump can be, the fact of the matter is, millions upon millions of people felt that he was closer to normal than the Democratic Party. What you gonna do about that?
I'm going to end it there. That's why they're kicking you out, Stephen A. You know it deep down. You know you're tired of the Democrat Party. You know you want to see them do different. You want them to do better. You want them to come more to the middle, to near where the conservatives are. And then the liberals and conservatives can kind of debate back and forth, but get along for the betterment of our country. That's what you want. It's the same thing I want. But guess what? What you just said about the Democrats and liberals being off, that's what it is. They don't want to come closer to the middle. They want to keep going further and further left. That's all they want to do. You're trying to be a person of accountability. They don't want that. They want a circus. That is the Democrat Party. They want a circus. Look at their symbol. It is a circus animal. And they are living up to it. And when you come in trying to be the saving grace, they think you being arrogant. They think you trying to be better. Why? Because they don't want to hear what you got to say if it goes against the craziness that they are embracing. The only thing that matters, the rainbow community, race, pretty much anything that's profitable from the media, because it's the media that has a hold of the Democrat side, not you per se, but I'm saying the liberal media, CNN, Hollywood, Hollyweird. And what you're pretty much presenting is, if we do what he say and straighten up, it's not going to be fun anymore because we're going to have to actually do work. That's what you're asking of the Democrat Party, is to straighten up, become responsible, and let's get to work. And they not trying to get to work. Why do you think they crying about food stamps that's leaving November 1st? November 1st. Because they don't want to work. We got women on the internet now, instead of saying, you know what, I might need to sign up for DoorDash, Instacart. I'm going to go rob some stores for food if they take away my food stamps. That's what you got them saying right now. If y'all don't want to give me my food stamps, I'm going to run up in your establishment and take the food. That is basically saying they don't want to work. The only work they want to use is their arms and legs to run up in the store to get the food. They don't want to clock in. They don't want to build any damn thing. Because right now, with what Trump is presenting, I know you talk shit on Trump, and you only talking that shit because you're trying to get back in with the black culture. But you know damn well Trump is opening the opportunity right now to become wealthy. It is similar to the 2007, 2008 recession. And I wish I would have had this mindset today back then, because I would be balling right now. But this is a different opportunity, and I'm taking it. And instead of trying to get back in the good graces of Black hood culture, you should take this show Straight Shooter and start showing the people, these Democrats and liberals that you're trying to defend, you should start showing them how to come up under what Trump is doing. You should be telling them you don't have to like Trump, but he's presented opportunities for you to better yourself and your family. That Dodge Charger Hellcat you want, you don't have to go get a $2,000 a month payment. He did this. He has this open, so you can jump in right here. And in a couple years or so, you will have enough for 5 Hellcats. That's what you should be teaching them now. Stop focusing on your friends, Roland Martin and the rest of them, because they don't care about you. All they care about is keeping you on a plantation, keeping you quiet so that they can keep lying to the people and making their money. Because what you're doing is you're waking people up. And as you wake them up, you pull them for Roland Martin. You pull them from D.L. Hughley. Because it don't look like he's doing comedy anymore, which he shouldn't have did in the first place. The only time I really thought he was funny was in Fresh Prince. But that's what you should be doing. Because they're going to guilt you. I have lost friends because they're doing the same thing Roland Martin and D.L. Hughley are doing. I've had all-out arguments since Charlie Kirk died. And when they told me I was going to be on the wrong side of history, cool, and all the other stuff, I was like, well, I don't think you're my friend, and I wish you the best. No hard feelings, but I don't want to communicate with you anymore, and I haven't. And that's how you should be. As soon as somebody try to test your moral standings and who you are because you are doing what Proverbs 27:6 says, wounds from a friend are to be trusted, but kisses from the enemy are deceitful, you shouldn't be cool with them because they don't have the capacity to understand that you're trying to help. And if they do understand, they don't want your help. All right, I can keep on talking about this, but I'm not. So if you in here, subscribe or just like the damn video.